Hi everyone. Today I want to show you how to get access to Microsoft Excel, Word, and PowerPoint for absolutely free. This is extremely useful if you are a student and can't afford the monthly payments of Office 365, or if you really aren't going to be using the Microsoft products so much that you can justify the expense. So Microsoft makes this available so we can have access to the Office suites. So that's Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, and Word on the web for free. So all you have to do is go over to office.com, and I already have an account, so it does recognize me because it's probably tracking my cookies. But you can go up here if you've never been onto the site and sign up instead of sign in. But let me go ahead and sign in here. And once I sign in, you will see that it has the suite of Microsoft products available here, and it will also have any recent projects that I've been working on this screen here. So if I want to go ahead and open up a workbook within Microsoft Excel, I go here, it will show me the templates. And in today's video, I am going to walk you through some of the basics of Microsoft Excel to get you started. But this tutorial here, this Welcome to Excel tutorial, is also a great resource to refresh your memory on a couple of the basics. But we're hoping to go through that today. So if you like today's tutorial, please subscribe and hit the like button below. But let's get started. We're going to open up a new blank workbook. And this is the basic workbook that is going to be opened up once you open up a blank, non-templated workbook within Microsoft Excel. So as you can see, as most Microsoft products, if you're familiar with the products, you will have your toolbars up here and your menu tabs, where it'll always default you to the home section. And this is a worksheet within Excel. These cells, or these little boxes, are referred to as cells. The letters above here reference the columns, and the numbers here reference the rows. So if I click on a random cell here, let's say here, I am referencing that cell by saying I am currently in H8. That is the cell that I'm currently in. So as you can see here, you can reference any of these cells simply by looking up at the column and referring back to the row. That's going to be extremely helpful as we start getting into functions and formulas, so you can reference one cell to another and build formulas on there. And if we wanted to build a very basic table in order to start using Excel, because the whole purpose of this program is to be able to dig into data and find out information based on the data that you have. And you do this by creating tables and using functions and formulas to make better data-driven decisions and come out with insights based on the information and the data that you have. So first, you would need to set up some sort of basic table, whether this is something that you get from work or school, or you create your own just like we're doing here. So let's say the top row here, I want to put in a set of products. So product 1, 2, 3. And in this row here, I want to say who my customers are. So Jen, Jill, Ben, and Adam. So currently I have my products going across the columns and my customers down the rows here. If I wanted to say, okay, Jen bought product A, so let's say she bought, product 1, she bought 1 of those. Product 2, she purchased 5 of these, and product 3 she didn't really like, so didn't go through. That I just entered values into these cells that is telling me which products Jen purchased and how many of them. I can then go in and start filling in the rest. So again, let's say Jill bought 2, 0 of this one and 2 of that one, and we can just go in and do some random numbers that will help us visualize the formulas and functions that we will be going through. And Adam really didn't like any of them, so he didn't go ahead and purchase any. So now this is a very basic table. A cool thing that we can do is if we don't like the format, let's say somebody else made this table and they like the format going across the top being the products and down the rows being the customers. Let's say we want it the other way around. We want the customers this way and the products this way. Instead of retyping this out, and this is a small table, so it wouldn't take us that much time to retype it out, but if it's a larger table, it could take more time. Either way, you can just go ahead and right click. First you highlight the table, apologize. Then you go ahead and right click, do a copy, click over here, let's say, or whichever cell you want. Right click again, brings you to the menu. Here you'll see that it says transpose. When you click on that, it will automatically transpose your table. So now I have my products down the rows and my customers across the columns. But again, Excel is used to gain insights based off of your data. So the data that we have here are the quantities of products that each customer's purchased. So if we wanted to figure out how many products one were sold across all our customer sets, we could go through here and take out our calculator and add 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 0 and gives us our total. Well, we know that's 5. It's a small data set. If this was a larger data set, it would take a little bit more time, and if you want to go across every single product and every single customer, there has to be an easier way to do this, correct? Well, there is with Microsoft Excel. Click on whichever cell you want to populate the total from. So here, I'm going to go ahead here and make this the total column. I then go and start by entering equals. All formulas will start with the equal symbol. And I put sum, open parentheses, go ahead and click and drag across my range and close the parentheses. Once I hit enter, it sums it up there. What's even easier is if I want to do the same formula across here. Instead of typing everything out, I go ahead again and click on the cell that I just created that formula. See the little box here? I just go hover over that box and double click. And automatically it gave me that formula across all of the rest of my table. So there, let me highlight this. I like to highlight it so that way I know that that is something that is of interest to me. I wanted to figure out what the totals were of the products sold. Now, let's say that we wanted to figure out what the totals were for each individual customer, how many products they individually purchased. We will then go ahead and do the same here, but instead of clicking and dragging, you can use the arrows and go over to hover over to the cell that you want to start your formula on. Then you do the colon and use the other arrow to drag over. And that was the shortcut version of what we did with the mouse. Then you close the parentheses. Oh, and this, we made a mistake here. So you saw here, obviously, that's a 0. We knew that that should have been a 6. So we can double click to see the formula. I accidentally did the range going from C1, or C3 actually, C3, to G3 over here. And it basically created an error since it was going across itself. So we can delete that and actually in there, actually manually type E3. And it takes care of that. It highlights the range that we actually want to get, hit enter again, and it fixed it. It created the sum for those 3 cells. Again, double click there, and we get the totals by customer. So here we have totals by customer. And here's we have total by product. And again, it's always good practice to do some simple formatting, so that way when you go back to these charts, you know what exactly it is that you're looking at a glance, and don't really have to analyze the formulas and don't have to analyze the charts or tables to know exactly what you had done if it's been a few weeks since you've been back on this particular worksheet. But those were some simple ways to get started with Microsoft Excel with a free version that's available online. This won't be available if you don't have internet access, but if you have internet access and just need to do a simple table in order to come up with some calculations, this is a great product way to do it without having to have that expense of purchasing the product. And we also went through how to create a simple table, how to transpose the table from one format to another, and the sum function. Please hit the like button below and subscribe if you like the video. Thank you.